In this episode, I will be discussing the benefits of strength training for those with neuromuscular degen. I will also be discussing the 4 fundamental exercises that make up a full body strength training workout. Also, adaptive variations of each, so regardless of your level of mobility, you can gain some benefit from them. Then finally, I will be discussing a few of the basic principles of strength training. Before we begin, I need to mention I'm not a trained professional, so please consider talking to a trained professional like an EP or a physio before incorporating anything I talk about today into your own workouts. And finally, always incorporate with resistance training a good amount of stretching to avoid injury and to boost recovery.
What is strength training? Strength training is also known as weight training, resistance training, or muscular training. The general definition of strength training is any physical movement in which you use your body weight or equipment to build muscle mass, strength, and endurance. Most illnesses with neuromuscular degeneration are incurable, leaving the diagnosed often in a state of despair, and as degeneration occurs, there can be a growing sense of hopelessness. However, regardless of the severity of our condition, we all have strength training as an option for combating our illness. Some benefits include, known to improve quality of life, reduce degradation rate of muscle, improve movement, improve symptoms or comorbidities of the disease, prolong independence, reduce risk of falls and injury. It also improves cardiovascular and respiratory function, leading to increased longevity. The benefits from strength training that aren't specific to those with degeneration include increased strength. Your body burns calories more efficiently, improves bone density, helps you manage blood sugar levels, boosts both your self-esteem and mood, and finally improves your brain health. As someone who lives with degeneration, I cannot overstate how much I value strength training. I believe strength training has prolonged my degeneration significantly. I also rely on it as an integral part of maintaining good mental health. Compound exercises and adapted variations. When considering the best exercises to work the full body, the most efficient way to do that is with compound movements. Compound lifts are any strengthening exercise where you're using more than one muscle group at the same time. There are many compound lifts, but today we are just going to look at the 4 fundamentals. A squat, deadlift, bent over row and bench press. Squat. If there's one exercise that has the ability to challenge most of the muscles in your body, it's the squat. The lower muscles targeted in a squat include your quadriceps, hamstrings, adductors, hip flexors and calves. In addition to the lower body, the squat also targets your core muscles. These muscles include the rectus abdominis, obliques, transverse abdominis, and erector spinae. Standard squat technique. Your footing needs to be around shoulder width apart, but not too far or too close. While lowering the body, inhale. The knees should slowly bend to lower the body down. The glutes and hamstrings need to contract to their maximal effort, which happens during the lowering and rising phases. This will happen when you try to lower your glutes down as if you are trying to sit down on a chair. Once we have lowered down, we need to exhale. Even in the relaxed mode, the torso needs to be upright in a good posture. Take a very brief pause, then rise from the lowered position quickly, but in a controlled manner. Do not lock your knees when you complete your squat, keep them straight, but do not lock them. Adapted squat variations. 4-point kneeling squat movement. Resistance band single leg press. Seated to standing. Leg press. Body weight squat. Smith machine squat. Deadlift. Deadlifts are highly effective at increasing functional strength due to the activation of your largest lower body muscles. They also train you for the functional activity of safely lifting objects off of the floor, which is a key skill for day-to-day activities. The targeted muscles include glutes, hamstrings, core, back, and trapezius muscles. Standard deadlift technique. The best deadlift stance is going to be either shoulder width apart or slightly narrower than shoulder width apart. Keep bar as close to your body as possible. If using a bar, get the bar to touch your shins as you set up for the lift. Make sure you're not hunched over. You should have a neutral spine with your chest up. Engage your lats and make sure your knees are facing out. Stand up from your strong starting position and lower the bar back down with a hinging motion. Lowering the deadlift is a hinge movement, starting at the hips, not a squatting movement. Do not hyperextend at top of the movement. Engaging your glutes at the end of a deadlift is important, pushing your hips far forward or leaning back is not. If your technique is right, when you stand up, the bar should already be pressed up against your quads. No further extension is required. Adapted deadlift variations. Bridging. Lying hamstring curl with resistance band. Kneeling kettlebell deadlift. Body weight deadlift. Smith machine deadlift. Bench press. The bench press can develop and build more strength and size, and also improve balance in movement. Bench press involves the pectoralis major, deltoids, triceps, and the upper arms. Standard bench press technique. Lie back on a flat bench holding a barbell in the rack above you with a shoulder-width, overhand grip. Drive your feet into the floor to contract your quads and glutes, and clamp back your shoulder blades to shorten the weight's path of travel. This increases neural drive to your chest, delts, and triceps. From the starting position, breathe in and lower the bar slowly until it skims the middle of your chest. Focus your mind on activating your chest muscles and push the bar back to the starting position explosively as you breathe out. Adapted bench press variations. Wall push-ups. Box push-ups. Standard push-ups. Dumbbell floor chest press. Smith machine bench press. Bent over row. The bent over row is a back day staple exercise and is considered one of the best muscle building back building exercises you can do. The bent over row is typically used to build and strengthen the muscles of the upper back, latissimus dorsi, rhomboids, and trapezius. However, it requires assistance from muscles of the low back, core, and arms to perform a bent over row correctly. Standard bent over row technique. Assume a standing position while holding the bar using a double underhand grip. Hinge forward until your torso is roughly parallel with the floor, or slightly above, and then begin the movement by driving the elbows behind the body while retracting the shoulder blades. Pull the bar towards your belly button until it touches your body and then slowly lower the bar back to the starting position. Adapted bent over row variations. And lat pull down. Assisted pull up. Pull up. Dumbbell incline bench row. Smith machine bent over row. Basic principles of strength training. These exercises are but a tiny fraction of the compound or isolation strength training exercises you could include in your workouts, but I believe some form of each of these exercises is a great place to start. For optimal results, you should aim for at least 3 strength training workouts a week, with at least 10 to 15 minutes of cardio. However, it's up to you and your healthcare team to strategize a workout that is challenging, yet safe to do consistently. Although I can't provide a workout schedule that will be suited for everyone, I can provide some key principles that I believe are beneficial for everyone. Progressive overload. As you get stronger, lifting the same weights won't push you as much as it did when you started. To keep seeing results, you will need to continue overloading your muscles with more stimulus over time. progressive overload doesn't always mean more weight. Progressive overload can be increasing representatives, increasing time under tension by slowing the movement, or increasing intensity by shortening rest periods. Recovery. The idea that muscles are built in the gym is a common misconception. The periods of rest between your training sessions is actually when the muscle growth occurs. During your workout, the stress of overload causes minor damage to your muscle fibers. As you sleep, eat well and rest, your body gets to work repairing and reinforcing the little tears in your muscles' fibers. This process results in growth and adaptation, and can only take place while you're at rest. Mind-muscle connection. Lifting, pushing, and pulling are pretty simple patterns, so it's easy for the mind to wander off and leave our bodies to go through the motions. However, this can increase our chance of injury and decrease our odds for optimal muscle growth. For every rep of every exercise, focus your attention on the muscle, or muscles, you're working. Visualize the eccentric and concentric contractions, maintain awareness of your alignment and posture, and aware of any stress or tension in muscles that shouldn't be working in that particular exercise. Similar to meditation, focus on the breath can be a great technique to encourage mind-muscle connection. Breathe out in time with the concentric contraction, and as the muscle eccentrically lengthens and stretches, take an expansive breath in. Leave your ego at the door. This simply means to prioritize good technique over using heavier weights. You're not going to impress anyone if you have bad form, especially if you end up getting injured. Select the heaviest weight that you can perform a full set with while maintaining great technique.
I hope this video has been informative. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing. If you have any questions, topics you'd like to see covered, corrections, or you just have a story to share relating to this video, please comment below. Thanks for watching.